I can say for my company, for my employees and my community, that answer is unequivocally no. In his first days in office, Biden unleashed a mad series of executive orders. They opened the border, they reduced vetting requirements, they brought oil drilling to a screeching halt, they restricted energy access to millions of Americans. They've covered business in new regulations, interfering in the free market. The results? Grocery bills have doubled or tripled. The cost of fuel has doubled and inflation has absolutely skyrocketed. Has Biden-Harris economics worked for you guys? No. Mr. Trump understands bureaucracy stifles innovation, growth, and wealth. As our 45th president, check this out, he promised to cut 2 federal regulations for every new regulation. Remember that? Well, do you know that he actually cut 8.5 regulations for every new one? That's true. And the result of that is under Mr. Trump, we had low interest rates. We meant we could invest in our business and grow more and better jobs. We had low fuel costs. So what's the call? Well, the first words of the Constitution, folks, are we the people, not we the government. So it falls to us, the people, to rein in this government despite the inevitable immune response, no matter the discomfort, for the sake of freedom and for the sake of our posterity. Remember, our forefathers created quite a ruckus for a lot less than we're dealing with right now. As an entrepreneur, I just want to be free to be creative and innovative. I desire to, with our employees, serve our communities, create jobs, and build a life for our kids. You don't need 430 federal agencies to do that. So let's do our part. Vote early, swamp the vote. Take your friends and family with you. And then let's help our new president do the hard work that will unleash we the people. God bless you all. God bless Team Trump.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
But you have to get the steps still.
Jesus is Lord, Christ is King.
Amen.
You're not in the wrong rally if you believe that.
Amen.
We will not kick you out if you believe in God. As a matter of fact, you're in the right place. I came all the way from Georgia because I believe you all are so important in this election. As a matter of fact, I got on an airplane last night. I fought through about 3 hours of Atlanta traffic trying to get to the airport. Flying up here, I had to take 2 different airplanes, and I thought the whole way, this is worth it. And it's worth it because I've been campaigning on the ground every single day in my home state of Georgia. You see, we're a swing state, just like you are. And our Georgia votes are very important, and your votes are very important. As a matter of fact, your votes, every single one of you in this room, all the students here at Penn State, all of you in this county, in the borough of State College, you could swing the election. Yes. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now let's talk about why. For the past 12 years, 12 out of the past 16 years, Democrats have been in control of this country. If you're 20 years old and you're sitting in this room today, most of your life, Democrats have been controlling this country. But President Trump was president for 4 years. And I want you to know that on Election Day in 2020, gas prices in my hometown were $1.75. Can you imagine that? But let's talk about the past 16 years, 12 of those years. Let's do a little history lesson, everyone. The biggest sin Donald Trump ever committed was beating Hillary Clinton.
Yep. Thank God.
You see, she was never supposed to lose. As a matter of fact, she was set up to win. She was so set up to win, they cheated the election from Bernie Sanders. Did you know that? Look it up. Bernie Sanders was a populist. He was so popular during that Democrat primary, the actual Democrat machine was terrified. The DCCC was broke. They were bankrupt. They were down by millions and millions of dollars, and Hillary Clinton's campaign came in and loaned the DCCC millions of dollars and propped them up. Bernie Sanders never had a chance. They think their elections are stolen, they say so. And that's what Hillary Clinton said in 2016. That's also what Stacey Abrams said when she lost Georgia twice. But then President Trump became president in 2017. And guess what happened? On his inauguration day, Democrats came out to the streets and they nearly burned down Washington, D.C. If you're a college student in this room, you might not even know that. Look it up. Those pictures are absolutely terrifying. They set Washington, D.C. on fire. Wait a minute. Isn't that called an insurrection or something like that? Oh, yes, the party that's defending democracy. They hated Donald Trump so much they were ready to burn down our Capitol for it. And then it carried on. Throughout his presidency, we saw Antifa. We saw them occupy in Portland, Oregon. We saw them take over, attack federal courthouses, attack police officers. And then the summer of 2020, night after night, every single night, the entire summer, Democrat activists, Antifa, and violent BLM rioters nearly burned down communities all across America. Remember? Don't you ever forget it. They caused over $2 billion in damages. They attacked police officers every single night. They burned over 93 police vehicles. They attacked federal courthouses. They tore down monuments. They attacked police stations. And they attacked, if you have a red MAGA hat, beaches were closed in this country. Parks were closed. Skate parks were closed, playgrounds were closed, there were churches that were closed. And you lost your First Amendment right, free speech, if you complained about it on social media. That's right. And that happened under Democrat control. They shut down our country. Yes, it is communist.
Yep.
It was tyranny. And if you're a young person today, you lived through that. And Republicans, we would have never done that to you. Donald Trump would not have done that to you.
It's
and when
evil.
it came to the COVID vaccine, many of you were forced to take it. But President Trump and Republicans, we believe in freedom.
Yes.
We believe in your right. We believe in your right to say no to vaccines. And you should always have that right. And we believe in your right to say no to wearing a mask. As a matter of fact, when I refused to wear a mask on the House floor, I was fined by Nancy Pelosi over $100,000. But I did it anyway. You see, if you're a young person in here today, you have to understand what we are voting for. Under President Trump, he ended the foreign wars. We had world peace. That was something truly incredible. But what we've had for the past 4 years is we are watching every single month we get closer and closer to World War III.
Yes, we do.
And that's something that none of us want.
They
Under
want it.
President Trump, under the last 4 years, Kamala Harris has let in over 12 million illegal aliens. It's actually higher than that. There are over 2 million gotaways that were never stopped by Border Patrol, never stopped by ICE, and no one knows who they are, where they are, and what they're going to do in this country. That is America today under Kamala Harris.
They want a war.
We have people that have been killed. Did you know on average an American citizen is killed almost every single day from an illegal alien crime? These people shouldn't even be here. And the fentanyl deaths, 300 a day. You think about that. That's like a jetliner falling from the sky and every single person dying on board that plane. And that shouldn't be happening. Look at our economy. Young people today, for the first time in their lives, have no hope for the future. They're not even sure if they'll ever be able to buy a home. You have no idea if you'll be able to afford groceries or rent. That should never happen. Young people should be the most hopeful among us. We have food problems today. Who wants healthy food in this room? Of course you do. We want healthy food. We want farmers to be able to survive in America, and farmers are going out of business. And vaccines, you know, we're really concerned about what vaccines may be doing to children. And it's not a crime to say that. We should be saying this. But the real issue today is what the media has done and what the messaging has been against the American people. The reality is it's not black versus white. It's not rich versus poor. It's not man versus woman. You know what it really has become? It's become the state versus you. And that's the most dangerous thing that could ever happen. We have an opportunity. You have an opportunity. Every single one of you in this room, here's what you can vote for. If you vote for Donald Trump, you will be going against the machine. You will be fighting against the system. You'll be doing what young people used to be so brave to do, but for some reason, young people have been brainwashed. Absolutely brainwashed. But young people today, you can actually save our future because it's your votes that can swing this election. And you'll be voting for a future that every single one of us want to have. A future of secured borders, where we actually protect all 50 states and stop the invasion into America. You can vote for a future where our tax system is fair for Americans. No tax on tips, no tax on overtimes, no tax on Social Security benefits for seniors. You can vote for a future where we destroy the Green New Deal. And you can vote for a future where we end the foreign wars and your hard-earned money stops being sent overseas to murder people you've never met, fight wars that we have no part of. And we keep your hard-earned money right here at home, because every single one of us know the federal government and Congress has spent far too much of your money, over $35 trillion in debt. How pathetic is that? It's pathetic. But your vote today, I'm telling you, you have a chance. And here's something that I can't fathom. I cannot fathom people sitting this one out. I cannot fathom if you're an American and you do not like the way that our country is going, you do not like the way the future looks ahead, I can't fathom you sitting it out. Look, we can't control the playing field, because I can tell you right now, if I could, we'd be voting with paper ballots, and every single person would have to show an ID. Now, while that's the ultimate goal, you have a duty, you have a responsibility as an American. you have a job to do, and that is to vote in this election. It doesn't matter what you think about the system, you still have to vote. Because if you don't vote and you sit it out, you're allowing everything to continue to go on that you don't like. You allow it. But if you get in, you cast your vote, you are taking part. You are saying, I'm giving it all I've got, and I'm trying. You have a job to be a poll watcher. You have a job to be a volunteer. You have a job to be a door knocker. You have a job to make phone calls, text your friends. But let me tell you the people you really need to talk to. It's your friends, your family, your neighbors, your co-workers that you know are saying they're not going to vote. Those are the people that all of you in this room need to have those hard conversations with. I'm serious. It may be an uncomfortable conversation, but you have a responsibility to have that hard conversation. Because let me tell you something. I work with Democrats every single day in Washington. I know for a fact what they say. I know exactly what their plans are. I know what they want to do to this country. And I'm fighting as hard as possible. President Trump has been fighting for years. And I can tell you right now, if you sit it out, if you refuse to vote, if you don't take the time to do it, and you don't have those hard conversations, we can't do our jobs. And we can't pass the critical bills that we have to pass. And we can't make this country great again. And that's all we're trying to do. President Trump has been attacked for years. President Trump has been lied about. You know how they talk about his rhetoric? Let's talk about rhetoric. Kamala Harris is calling him Hitler. Democrats and people on the media have been calling him a Nazi and Hitler and a threat to our democracy. Not only have they arrested him, they impeached him twice. They have tried to bankrupt him, destroy his company, destroy his family. They have locked up his supporters. They locked up election protesters while they let BLM violent rioters go free. Think about that. They say that he will weaponize the government against the American people. The only regime that has weaponized the government has been the Biden-Kamala Harris regime that is in power right now.
Justice! We must justice. We demand it.
You talk about a true threat to democracy, those are the people in the White House. It's not Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a successful businessman. He's a father, a grandfather, and he's a friend to many. He's a great American that has spent his entire life helping people, and there are far too many stories for me to even tell you today of all the people he has helped. He is genuinely one of the nicest people I know, and I talk to him very often. Donald Trump doesn't have to do this. He doesn't have to, but he's doing it because he loves this country and he sincerely cares about every single one of you. We have an opportunity, Pennsylvania. So my ask to you is while we are fighting as hard as possible in Georgia, I'm asking you to fight as hard as you can in Pennsylvania. I'm asking you to get out there and vote. I'm asking you to vote so that bills like my bill to stop the gender industrial complex that is targeting our kids, my Protect Children's Innocence Act, can pass and become law. Vote so that parents have rights over their child's education and over the school boards. I'm asking you to vote with me. I've already voted. I got that done on early voting day. So listen, this is something that we can do together. and we can honestly save this country. I'm telling you, it can happen. I believe it. I believe in every single one of you. Thank you. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Congressman John Joyce.
Love you, John!
Gonna get good.
Roll the sleeves up.
Wow, it's great to be back at Penn State. This is a Trump rally, and we are going to make it a Trump rally today.
Yes, sir.
I love my family, but maybe just a little bit different because my wife and I are Penn State grads. I love Penn State. We all recognize what an important time this upcoming election will be. It is time that you roll up your sleeves and you get to work. So I have several asks for you today. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. We know how important this election is. And although it sounds somewhat trite, it is the most important election of all of our lives.
100%.
So I have asks, and I'm going to start with, we have until the 29th to go to your local election authority and cast your ballot. We are what we consider individuals who vote on a regular basis. We are folks who understand the importance of this election. So cast your ballot early. So those banked votes, and my wife and I are doing that. And when you vote, display your American flag outside. Wave your flag. Put it up like it's the 4th of July because it will once again be Independence Day. I am honored to represent Pennsylvania's 13th Congressional District. From Gettysburg to Johnstown, from Chambersburg to Altoona, from Fulton County to Mifflin County, we are in the House. Let's hear it. Neighbors, let everyone know how important this election is. And then on election day, you don't have to stand in line. You can take a neighbor, someone you know from church, someone who has small kids, and say, look, I'll watch the kids. Go cast that ballot. Make sure that we return to that independence that we had under President Trump. So I talk about my wife and I being students here at Penn State. These were great experiences. My wife and I would walk to the Forum, would walk to Eisenhower, and we knew this. And the students who are standing behind me continue to do that. But I don't think you had it as good as we did. We had the opportunity of the American dream that was right in front of us. I worked hard at Penn State, but there were many doors opened for me because of the great education that I got here in Happy Valley. My wife was a waitress at the Nittany Lion Inn. My wife never attended one home football game. She'll tell you the story. She worked breakfast, lunch, and dinner so that each home football game, she would make enough money to pay her rent. So when we moved back after years of being in medical school and residencies and serving the United States Navy, we moved back to central Pennsylvania. And my wife looked at me and she goes, what do you think about getting season tickets to the football game? This is every man's dream. And I said, they're kind of expensive, honey, but I think we can pull it off. And that is the ability to live the American dream. But these students behind us, they're being baited with, we'll forgive your tuition. They're being baited with so many lies that are being told to them. But they realize it. They realize the importance of casting their vote for Donald J. Trump. Pennsylvanians aren't fooled.
we realized that under Donald J. Trump, we had energy independence and even more. We had energy dominance. That's the ability to sell the energy sources that are under the feet of Pennsylvanians to our friends and to our allies that provide great jobs throughout the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We can return to that under Donald J. Trump. We can return to the sovereignty of this country. So I look out here and I see friends from the 13th Congressional District. I see patients of mine that I served while I practiced medicine for 25 years. And yes, you see a different side of me. You see someone who is impassioned about seeing Donald J. Trump return to the White House. You're seeing someone who understands that Donald J. Trump can once again secure the border. I'm going to talk about a story of two constituents who met with me. Ray and Deb met with me in the eastern part of the district, and they told me about their son, who was a college student, who was poisoned by fentanyl and died. It messaged to me how important it was that I go to the border, and I did 4 times. And I went out with the Border Patrol. I flew with the DEA. I saw the cartels bringing the drugs, doing the human trafficking that continues to pour into our country. And I recognized that Kamala Harris was failing in her job as being the czar of the border. She was turning her back on her responsibilities. But Donald J. Trump didn't do that. Donald J. Trump recognized that we needed to impose remain in Mexico. Donald Trump recognized we needed to build that wall. We needed to secure the sovereignty of our country, and we need to do it again. I told you, I didn't come here to sugarcoat anything. I'm in my backyard, and I'm very happy to be back here in Happy Valley. But we have a significant responsibility, and that responsibility transcends different levels. So I want to acknowledge the Penn State wrestlers who I saw. Would you please stand so we see these champion wrestlers? Thank you for being here. President Trump recognizes that men do not belong in women's sports. And while we're recognizing individuals, I want to recognize those who have served this great country of ours in the United States military. Please stand for us so we can acknowledge you. So I brought the wrestlers into the conversation for a specific reason. So West Point's wrestling captain, Dave McCormick, is also in support to be that flank, to be that linebacker for President Donald J. Trump. Kamala wants to defund the police. We have seen the rise in need to fund the police with the resources around America. We all see it, we all feel it, our families know it, and the individual who can do that is Donald J. Trump. So together, Penn Staters, law enforcement, prior military, college athletes, we all stand together for Donald J. Trump. Thank each and every one of you. God bless you. God bless the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And may God continue to bless these great United States of America. Thank you all. Thanks for being here.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Congressman G.T. Thompson.
Hello, Center County. It is great to be here, home to Penn State and the Nittany Nation. Remember when we respected and supported law enforcement? Remember when we respected and supported law enforcement? Do you remember when determining boys from girls was just based on biology? When Al-Qaeda, Iran, Russia, and Hamas were not threatening the world with war, that was when Donald J. Trump was president of the United States. Now, America must be strong, and for that to happen, Pennsylvania has to be strong. And that's not going to happen as Kamala Harris gets another 4 years. We can't afford that. The best predictor of future performance is past performance. And Harris's record has been a disaster for Pennsylvania. It's time to turn the page and close the book on this nightmare. Let's send her back to San Francisco. How's that sound? Now I've got another question for you, and I'm not sure these great students are going to know the answer to this one. It's a little dated, but how many of you remember, how many of you recall Rice-A-Roni?
Oh, yeah.
That's good. Well, I got to tell you, no offense to Rice-A-Roni, but Kamala Harris is no San Francisco treat. Since Harris took office, you have spent nearly $25,000 more thanks to camellia inflation. Now, this is a tax you can't afford. And I will tell you, the worst of politicians will tell you only what they think you want to hear in order to get elected. That's Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Does anyone truly believe she now supports fracking for energy production? Of course not. And she'll kill natural gas production. She'll do that and stop fracking by ending drilling permitting. By smothering energy production and unnecessary regulations and taxing this God-given resource to death. We are blessed to be on one of the greatest land-grant universities in the United States of America, Penn State. I don't know if you know this, but today, harmful Harris Biden education college financial assistance policy changes that they just made in the past year now make it almost impossible for children of farmers and small business owners to afford any college or university. They deserve better. She will kill the future of the Pennsylvania economy. She will ruin our future and those of our children. And we cannot afford to go back to these job-killing policies of harmful Harris. A vote for Harris is a vote to end opportunity. Now, President Trump has always stood with our Pennsylvania families. His policies have meant more money in your pockets and more Pennsylvania energy jobs. And a strong economy needs a strong workforce. In 2018, I was proud to stand in the Oval Office with President Trump. It's pretty cool for a kid that was from the town of Howard, Pennsylvania. Where we have about 600 people in one red light. And to be able to stand in that Oval Office with President Trump when he signed my legislation that modernized career and technical education and signed that into law. You know, working with President Trump was a tremendous honor and an opportunity to make a real difference in the lives of American citizens and the citizens here of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And together, we restored rungs on the ladder of opportunity. President Trump knows that where you start in life should not limit your future. It's more important where you end up in life. And I was proud to also work with the President to expand telemedicine, providing greater access to high quality and more affordable health care. You know, as the first Penn Stater ever and the first Pennsylvania member of Congress in 170 years to chair the U.S. House Agriculture Committee, I want to do a shout out and a thank you to all of our farmers who may be here today.
These are the folks who work so hard 7 days a week to provide us with food and fiber, building materials, energy resources. They give us economic security, they give us food security, and quite frankly, they give us national security because of what they do.